Justice League Dark number 2, written by Peter Milligan, art by Mikkel Janin. We last left off with, I don't know, pretty much like the team getting together. It's hard to say exactly where we left off. Madame Xanadu had a vision of the end of the world. There, that's the final page. This issue picks up with Zatanna. She is driving her motorcycle through a city. She comes around a turn and sees an entire city block just overrun with vines and like magical giant bugs, and just a bunch of corpses all on the street being preyed upon by these bugs. And over one of the overturned car radios, she hears Enchantress, the witch specifically, calling out to Zatanna, and it's just like, I'm gonna get you, Zatanna, for what you've done, all the evil you've done. And Zatanna tries using a spell to get Enchantress to reveal herself, and she's like, okay, well, my spell's not working. And she's like, oh, I'm stronger than you, and I'm totally gonna wrap you up in the dark and crush you and freeze you and meh. So this freaks Zatanna out. She starts running away as this huge just veil of darkness comes in after them. She casts like a protection spell around herself, and the darkness envelops her, but there's just this little ball of light that contains her. And this entire time Xanadu's talking about like how all of these people that we're covering in this book are so extremely damaged and broken and dangerous, not only to themselves, but to people around them. But that's why they just might have a chance, god damn it. So then we cut over to Deadman, and by extension, Dove from Hawk and Dove, aka Dawn Granger, I believe. Dove is sitting in a bar, just enjoying the music. And a dude walks up and he's like, excuse me, is this seat open? And he's like, actually, I'm waiting for somebody. He's like, I know, it's me, Deadman, possessing the body of this hot-looking guy. And so they like flirt for a little bit, and Deadman specifically is like, oh, well, let's pretend like we're high schoolers, just, all bashful and shy and whatever. And they just flirt for a while until finally Boston just skips the foreplay and is just like, so what do you say you and I get out of here? Because I got a body and we can totally do this now. And Dawn's like, are you serious? You do understand how awful that is, right? Like, ignoring the non-consent aspects of it, I don't want to sleep with another dude, Boston. He's like, it's not another dude, it's me, just in another dude's body. But before they can really get too much into it, the significant other of the dude that Boston possessed finds out and slaps him upside the head. Apparently he was married and Boston just happened to take off the ring. So Dawn is rightly pissed by this, but Boston takes his wife home out of the bar and takes her home. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We cut to Constantine, who just got out of a bar fight, and he's like, all right, cool. I need to stumble back to my hotel. I am in intense pain. Oh, look at that. I've been stabbed. Need to make sure I don't bleed out, because the whole point of this was I need to be in pain and in danger. That's why, because that makes it easier to do my form of magic. So he sews himself back up, and his whole thing that he wants to do is, I guess, find Zatanna. But he needs, I don't know, he needs to be beaten up for some reason in order to do that. And also he has a hair that belongs to Zatanna, and also he makes sure to say one of her eyelashes, because that's not weird at all. So then he starts some divination spell, but then we cut away from him back to Deadman and Dawn. Deadman shows up at Dawn's door and he's like, look, I took her home, I made sure they were okay, and I left. Nothing happened. And Dawn's like, oh, I'm supposed to believe that? And he's like, I don't care what you believe. Look, we need to figure out how to do this. He's like, look, I know, I get it, but you can't blackmail me like this, blah, blah, blah. There's a knock at the door, and it's June Moon, aka the human half of Enchantress, as I think we saw in the last issue. So this was just what was happening before June Moon showed up at their door. Basically, the whole reason she was looking for Deadman was she wants somebody to go in and see if Enchantress is still inside of her, because she still feels like the Enchantress is there, but the Enchantress doesn't really let June out this much, so she feels like something must be wrong or something or another. So for some reason, Deadman possessing June makes Dawn uncomfortable, so she leaves the room. Deadman goes inside of June, and then we cut to just shortly afterwards. Dawn's out on the balcony. June, being possessed by Boston, comes out and it's like, hey, it's me. Look, I don't see any witch in here, but she's really messed up, and there's like this nursery rhyme going on in her head about a crooked man and a crooked mile. So, yeah, she's not good, but there's no witch, so that's something. And Dawn's like, why are you still in her body? He's like, oh, look, I just wanted to talk. I wanted to say, I understand. It must be weird to sleep with another dude. Like, I didn't think about that. I won't push that button anymore. By the way, did I ever tell you how much I love you? As he's in June's body, giving her the eyes. And kudos to Janet. The disgust on Dove's face is just priceless. Cut to the next page. She's driving away, and June's like, I have a little memory of something about typical male fantasy. What's that about? And Boston's like, don't worry about it. Anyway, there's no witch inside you. And she's like, I don't know. It still feels like there's a witch inside me. And now that you helped me, she's probably really pissed off at you, too. So you're probably in danger. Cut back to Dove, wherever she's driving. The radio starts spewing out the same thing that it did towards Zatanna. It's like, you took away my human half, and I'm going to hurt you for it, blah, blah, blah. Dawn transforms into Dove, and she just feels this darkness and the freezing and everything enveloping her, and she just wants the radio to shut up. Cut back to Zatanna, who is still in her protective bubble, but apparently no one, like all the people that she saw dead on the street weren't actually dead. It was just an illusion. So she's just in a trance, sitting cross-legged in the street, and people around her like, I think she's dead. Oh, geez, someone call an ambulance. And then we get back to Xanadu, who's actually talking to Enchantress inside of like a snow globe, and it's like, look, I've been reading the cards, and I've seen that all these people are gathering against you. They're dangerous. You have to go on the offensive. Destroy them all. So Xanadu is supposedly against the Justice League Dark? I don't know. Seemed like a last page twist for the sake of the last page twist, but the rest of it I really, really enjoyed. Art-wise, can't really fault Janet anywhere in there. That whole sequence with Dove and June and Boston was, just chef's kiss. Fantastic how that all played out. Writing-wise, it's also good. It feels like it's a little bit slow right now, so I'm hoping that it picks up the pace just a little bit in getting everything moving, but I have no doubt that it will. I'm not judging it on what it may or may not fail as. I'm judging it for what it is. It's just a little bit slow right now, but we're still in issue 2, so I can't fault it that much. Overall, I'm going to give this a 7.5. It's very good, very worth checking out, if only for just the attempted threesome that Boston tried to get going. Like, bravo on that one. But no, it's a good book. I would definitely recommend checking it out. So, yeah.